Hello, welcome back to my repair of this Great Planes Revolver 60, and I'm repairing the landing gear. So if you've been watching some of these videos, this is the 5th one that I'm doing, and I realize it does take a little bit of time to do this. So if you have a repair, if you have to repair one of your planes or do a fix, usually you have to do some type of custom work. So you have to kind of think about what you want to do. You have to figure out the best way to do it, and so that's kind of what I've been doing here. And it does take some time. If you're looking at some of my other videos, I am in the process of building that Barnstormer 25 S kit. And right now I'm on the wing. I've been preparing to start the wing. I just put it on a little bit of hold because I do want to see if I can get this plane fixed up and kind of out of the way. But I do need to get back to that. So if you have been watching those videos of that Barnstormer kit build, there's going to be more coming. I just want to get this finished up if I can, and then to get back onto that kit. And I also have another kit coming in the mail from Balsa USA. It's their I guess it's their Smoothie 40. So I should be getting that pretty soon, and that's going to be another build. Okay, where we left off last time is I had finished making this little aluminum plate that I'm going to use to help support the landing gear. And I was thinking about it. This is, it's thin, it's light, and it is strong, but I thought what I would do is I'd build another one. So I got 2 of these, and I figured it's not going to add too much weight, but it will add a little bit more strength. And so I decided to do 2 of them. So we're going to get these mounted, and they're going to go right on here, like we talked about before. And so now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to look into how to get this mounted using T-bolts. We're going to have to drill some holes in these plates, drill some holes in the firewall, and take it one step at a time. So here's our plate. It's going to go here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark inside here on the firewall, from the firewall side. Oops. Don't have too much room to work with in here. So I have these holes already in the firewall that are already here. So I'm going to use those 2 bottom holes. And this is how we're going to start with our mounting. Okay. All right. So I marked those 2 spots. Kind of glary. Okay. So we have one here and one over here. And actually, what I'm going to do is put this on, and I'm going to put my other plate on. I'm going to clamp these together. Because I'm going to pretend that they're just one piece. Okay. All right, so there's that. Okay, so I ran into a little bit of problem. What else is new? With these T-bolts. So unfortunately, the firewall is only 3/16 of an inch thick. It's not very thick. And then the T-bolt, or the T-nut, I guess you'd say, this is about a 1/4 inch, I think, long on the inside. So the problem with that is that if I use this T-nut and I draw it through the firewall, it's going to come through and going to poke through. It's not going to. In other words, the firewall is not thick enough to take that T-nut. So what I did is what I'm going to have to do is I have to shave or kind of cut these T-nuts down a little bit. And you can see I did the first one here, and I did that with my little roto tool. So that's sort of a pain in the neck, but it wasn't that hard, so I'm going to do a few of those. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to use like the Proxxon roto tool, and I'm going to hold it really well with these pliers, and I'm going to go ahead and shave off or try to cut this T-nut down. Let me grab this guy. Okay, so I got cut that down, as you can see here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just sharpen up those little teeth on there. I realize this is kind of a sort of a little surgical move I'm doing here, but I have to really do that because you can see these are just way too long and they would stick out. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim these down now. Okay, so what I did here, as you can see, is I basically just kind of just made, oops, get it back a little bit. I just cut it down, and then I'm going to go back, and I can sharpen these even better. I can sharpen these up a little more, but I still think these are going to be these are going to be fine. But I did have to cut them down a tad. So I'll work on the other few I have here. Okay, so I worked on these with the roto tool, and just basically grinding them down. And you know, T-nuts aren't anything magical. They're just all their purpose is they basically have little teeth on them, so that you can as you tighten them down, they draw into the back of the wood, and that just secures them. That'll just secure them into the wood so that they don't turn on you when you're trying to tighten it down. So I think these will be fine. They're going to bite just fine. Now I was using eye protection when I was doing this because there's little teeny pieces of metal are grinding off and flying everywhere. So remember, always use anything you can to be safe. Do it. Okay, so I was ready to start drilling these holes, and I realized that my drill bit, my drill is kind of too big. I mean, I can get it over here okay, but then I have to get it back in here in this corner. I can't get to it without taking off my exhaust pipe. And then I also have to put 2 other ones in here. Now, I could do that. I could take off my exhaust pipe, but I don't want to, because this you know, the Saito engine, you know, sometimes they vibrate, and sometimes these things come loose. So I really got this on here nicely now to where it's actually secured, and I don't want to mess with it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this again, our little friend, the roto tool, and I think I can just kind of route around those 2 holes and make them big enough, and not worry about having to use a drill bit. I mean, it's just wood, so. Okay, so I think I have the 2 first holes basically drilled out big enough to accommodate the T-nut. And then I have, of course, our aluminum plates. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these 2 holes, and hopefully it'll line up close enough, and then we can use the T-nuts to set this on here to attach it, and then we can drill the upper ones after that. So next step is to go ahead and drill this out. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my, I'm going to use a center punch to kind of make a nice indentation in the metal, so the drill bit won't walk around on me too much. Oh, that certainly did it. So now I have those two holes kind of sunk in a little bit. Now I get my drill. Okay, I measure this T-nut again, and I think it's actually 732 is the size I need. So I'm going to go ahead and set up on here. And now I got to be careful because I don't want this thing to swing out on me. I should clamp it, but I'm just going to try to hold it. One. That was easy. Those look pretty good. Okay, I'm going to go with the 832 little bolt here. Let me cut this open. Oh, I'll fall over. And let's see here. So that goes through there. Okay, that's nice. Let me try this one on this side. Uh-oh, am I off here? Actually, let me flip this around this way. That one. This guy. Okay, those are in there. Now for the T-nut. There it goes. Just that one like that. Nice. Okay. Pull this one on here. Cool. All right, so what I'm going to do is take a look inside there. Okay, so here's the inside. Looking at them. So I didn't totally seat those T-nuts yet. I'm just going to put them in a little way. I'm not going to put them all the way in because right now I'm going to have them set there, and then I'm going to drill the upper two, and then once those are all ready, then we're going to epoxy those on. So I don't want to do that just yet. So I'm just going to let them kind of bite in there to hold it, and then we'll do the top two. It's actually a pretty good view showing the where the landing gear was mounted. It was just glued onto here and to here. That was it. That was holding the landing gear on. Okay, so I'm going to come back and I'm going to measure. I'm going to drill these two guys out here. Probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to drill this off of the plane because there's no room for me to get the drill bit in here. I don't think there is, but I am going to bring him in a little bit, just so there's a little bit offset between the four of them. So I'm going to start by just drawing some kind of reference lines. This doesn't have to be perfect because this isn't like I'm aligning a wing or anything. So I'm just go ahead and draw a couple of reference points off the top of these two somewhat vertical lines here. And there we here we go. Somewhere right there. Right about there. And then let me see. There's some wood behind here that I have to watch out for, and of course the T-nuts have a larger diameter than the screw or the bolt, so you have to make sure that you don't hit the other T-nut. So I need to go over, I don't know if I can just measure this one here. It's about 3/8 of an inch. So if I go over a 1/2 inch, I'm just going to go ahead and measure a 1/2 inch here. I'm actually going to go 3/8. I'm going to go about 3/8 here, and I'm also going to do it right here on this side. These are just going to be some rough measurements right now. And then I have to watch out for this wood on this side, and I also have to watch out for their T-nut. So I'm going to drop it down. I got to be 3/8 below this other piece of wood, so I got to be about 1 inch down, because the center is 3/8, and then I have this other wood, so 1 inch down off the top of this line right here. So I have to be about right here, right about there, and right about there. Okay. So brought those in a little further. So those are gonna, that's gonna clear the other T-nuts on the inside, on both sides, and it's also gonna clear, there's this triangular piece of wood that you kind of saw in that last little close-up I did on the inside. So we want to clear those spots. So we're gonna drill here and here, and we'll set our top two. See how that worked. I actually drilled these ones a little bit smaller because I realized that the T-nut wasn't going to go all the way through, but really it's just the bolt, so that's okay. Okay, so we can put this back on here. I think that's good like that. And let's just line up just to make sure we're still lined up okay. I don't know why it would move, but let's just check. Okay, good. Now we'll go ahead and we'll mark the firewall with these holes. There we go. All right. Okay, so there's the firewall marked out. Now we're going to drill those out. Okay, so I realized I drilled this on an angle. I wouldn't normally do that. It'd be better to go straight in, but I think it's still going to be okay because this is a smaller bit than what the T-nut's going to fit. So now I'm just going to go ahead and just try to ream it out like I did the lower ones to give us the room that we need for the T-nuts. Okay, so I did the pilot holes with the little with the rotor tool, and I got that going. And then what I did is I was able to go back and I used just the drill bit for the size that I measured for the T-nut, and with a pair of pliers, and I just held it like this, and I kind of used my King Kong grip, and I was able to ream it out with this. All right, so we had a bottom two like last time. Then we'll put the top two on here. This one's a little bit funky. Let's try this one over here. Okay. This is why when you do a repair, and it takes a little while, because you know, this is all sort of like custom go, figure it out as you go kind of stuff, right? There were other people that did this, and they did dowels. They took dowels and they went on an angle and they drilled through the firewall up into like the base plate of the landing gear, and they did it that way. I'm not sure that would work too well. Other people did what I'm doing here, using metal reinforcement. Other people replaced the landing gear with a solid landing gear. Like I said, there's all kinds of different ways to do this. Well, maybe not all kinds, but there are several ways to do it. Okay, so, ouch, I got this snugged in here. Okay, cool. Okay, so taking a look, so now you can see. So when you, let me get something to point with besides my ugly finger. You can see, like, I had to make sure that the T-nut cleared this piece of wood here and also the other T-nut. That's why I kind of offset them like that. So again, I didn't put them all the way in. I just kind of got them kind of biting a little bit. I'll snug them in a little bit. But now this is good enough now to, so now I can go ahead and we will put the, let's see here, let me grab our little plate. All right, here we go. There. Pull this up here. Pop that down there. Okay, so now you can see. So now this dude, this guy right here, now we're going to bend that over, and it's going to fold down on top of here, and then we'll make the alignment holes for the landing gear. Okay, so I'm happy with the way this is turning out so far. I think this is really going to give us a lot of strength when I bend this over and put the landing gear on. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to go back and clamp this to hold it. We want to keep it all aligned. So now we're going to pull this off of here. Oops. I'll go ahead and pull the plate. I'm going to pull the plates off, and then we'll go ahead and bend them. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this in the vise. So if you didn't have a vise, you can always do this by clamping it. You know, clamp it to a table. Clamp it to a piece of wood like a 2x4 or something. This is soft metal, so if you are going to bend metal, you know, you don't have to have a vise, but it is convenient. Let me line this up in here. And okay, want to make sure I'm going the right direction. Okay, so make sure I'm good here. Okay, that's good. Now I can take these off. So because I have two layers, they're gonna one's gonna kind of slide a little bit. That's okay. But I want to make sure that the holes in the bottom are lined up. As long as the holes down here are good, I don't care too much about up here. All right, so we're gonna tap it. Okay. Now, hold on a second here. Okay, let's see here. Oh boy. Okay, whoa. That looks like I tweaked that a little bit. Hold on a second. All right, so I got the holes are aligned and maybe a little bit high on that side. Let's see how that fits though. Okay, I see how we did. I cleaned this off a little bit. Let's pop this on here. Okay. Wow, okay, looks pretty good. Let me take a look here. Get down low and look through here. So I think I could work, I'm gonna kind of work on this a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bend it a little bit more because right now it's sort of coming up on the back a little bit. So I want it to kind of be as flush as possible. So now, it looks like the holes are aligned pretty good still. So, oops, get my head out of the way. I'm hoping that I won't have to do too much. Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of work with this a little bit more off camera to get it to sort of fit better. But overall, that's kind of how it's gonna be. And as you can see, we will then come back and put our landing gear on like this. But that's it for right now. This is all I'm going to do today on this. And we'll come back next time and we'll do this next step.